Hi, good afternoon. So today I am here to make a small video regarding that what all books you need to refer for the civil services Indian economy portion for prelims as well as the mains examination. See, this question is quite often asked by the student. That's a which book we have in the market, which will cover all the aspect that you have in the civil service mains examination. See, as you know that when it comes to the prelims examination syllabus given by UPSC for the civil services, the syllabus is not very well defined. So we can only guess on the basis of last year paper that what all topics broadly we need to cover. But yes, when it comes to the mains examination, the syllabus has been clearly given by the UPSC that you need to cover these areas. Okay. So point is, as per the given syllabus of UPSC, the books that we have in the market, what all books we can refer. See, if I'll tell you the favorite book of mine that I really like and that is also covering all the aspect of Indian economy that has been given in the syllabus, like there is a book provided by an author called I.C. Dhingra for Indian economy, and the title of the book is Environment and Policy. Okay. That book is the one which I really like, and that is also covering all the aspect. So what you people need to do when you buy this particular book, you just need to tick all the topics which have been given in the UPSC main syllabus in the book's index and only focus on these chapters, and there is no need to refer on the other chapters at all. Moreover, in addition to this particular book, you have other books in the market like Datan Sundaram, then you have Mishra and Puri. So these books are also good. But do remember, whatever books I'm telling you here, these all books are for the BCom Honors Delhi University exam. So you're not supposed to buy a book which is being specifically provided for these civil services, because you also have a one book which is being provided by the same author that he has provided for civil service examination point of view. Personally, I really don't like that book, because when it comes to writing in that particular book, the writer simply restricted himself in terms of explaining thing, and he only focused on those areas which are, I would say, obviously given in the syllabus, but the point is the explanation is not that good as you have in case of the book that he has provided for the BCom honors. So I'll simply say that focus on that particular book. Moreover, there are two more books in the market that normally students are being asking that whether we need to refer that particular book or not. Like there is a one book regarding Indian economy that is being provided or written by our late Sanjeev Verma sir for Indian economy. So this book is being specifically provided for civil services. And then there is a one second book that is being written by an author called Ramesh Singh. See, I won't comment on the book provided by Ramesh Singh because personally there is only one thing which I really don't like about this book. The content is good, that the author tried to provide so many things which are not required. So it is totally up to you whether you want to follow or not. So today I am going to comment only on one book that is being provided by late Sanjeev Verma sir. See, this is the latest edition of this book of Indian economy by Sanjeev Verma sir. So I recently updated that book and I try to incorporate those things which are actually you need to know from examination point of view. Okay. So I'm just telling you in brief what all things I've included in the revised edition for 2020 that may be, or you can say, kind of relevant from examination point of view. Like when you see the content in this particular book, you will find that in the chapter number 1, we've included one new thing, that is your base year and need for periodic revision in the context of India. Like as you know this thing, the base year is supposed to be revised by the government of India in 2018-19, but somehow the government of India didn't revise. So the point is, in that particular thing, we have been trying to provide you in very brief that what is the need for the revision of the base year. Okay. In the second chapter, whose title is Towards Inclusive Growth, under that we have included a chapter content called Growth and Equity. See, in the growth and equity, as you know, the Indian economy has been growing at a good rate in the last few years, but in the recent time the growth has been slowed down. But the point is, whatever growth we have been having in our economy, is it really bringing the equality among the population or not? Like, as you know, there is a huge amount of inequality when it comes to the per capita income of different states in our country. So the point is it really the growth which is good for the economy or not? Some basic information we have provided. In the third chapter, we have included sustainable development goals, as well as we have also included something called climate financing. So in the climate financing, we have been trying to provide the name of certain funds which are being started by various international organizations for the purpose of taking care of the climate change at a global level. In the chapter number 4, we have included Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana and universal basic income. So like these two ideas have been propounded by government of India in the last few years. So universal basic income was covered by the government of India in the economic survey 16-17. So recently it was again in news because of the ongoing corona crisis. So we have also included that particular thing. Okay. Then in the chapter of food security, we have included the challenges before India in achieving food security. So like under this, you will get around 10 to 11 points that what all challenges we are facing in a country when it comes to achieving the food security. Then in the agriculture chapter, we've included so many new things. Like we've included the agriculture export policy 2018. We've included rainbow revolution. Then we've included second green revolution. Then national mission for sustainable agriculture we included. Then we included the agriculture policy vision 2020. And then in the budget 2021, we have 16 points action plan for agriculture revival. So these all things are being very important from the mains point of view. So we have included all these things in very brief. Then in the chapter number 7 of land reforms, we've included something that is hurdles in land reforms in our country. That what all hurdles we have been facing when it comes to doing the land reforms in the Indian economy. Okay. Then in the chapter number 9, we have included the wage code 2019. And then we have included a vision of a new India. So that these two things, so that you will be able to know what all things is being done by government of India. Not all, few, like two things we've included new for the purpose of doing the industrialization in the Indian economy. Okay. Then after that, in the infrastructure development chapter, we have included two more things: the regional connectivity through UDAN, and the second is Adarsh Railway Station Scheme. Okay, two new addition. In the investment models, we included the public-private partnership. Earlier, we were covering it in the other part, but we thought as a part of investment model, we should include it here only. So we simply brought the PPP, the public-private partnership, in the investment model chapter. Okay, so brief information has been given. Then there is no update in the chapter number 12. In the chapter number 13, we have included only these some other forms of budgeting like zero-based budgeting, performance budgeting, outcome budgeting, gender budgeting, this kind of things we've included so that you will get a broad idea what all budgeting types have been followed by government of India when it comes to making the budget. Then in the chapter number 15 of banking, we have included two new things. Like first of all, the banking related initiatives taken by government of India. And then second, a merger of SBI and the associate banks. Okay. The things are not very complicated, they're very simple, but you should know about it and you may get a question from this in the prelims examination. Then in the chapter of capital market, we have incorporated stock exchanges and we have also included the various indices of stock market because a question you may get in your prelims examination from this. Then in the chapter of planning, we have included the recent initiatives of Niti Aayog. Okay. Then chapter number 19, we have a concept of new globalization report, 3 mega models, trends. Then in chapter number 21, we have included the national IPR policy 2016. And then national IPR policy achievement so far. Then chapter number 22, we have included the export strategies and report of SEZ policy review committee. In chapter number 23 of foreign trade policy, we included the foreign trade policy midterm review of 2020. As you know, that recently government of India extended the term of the foreign trade policy of 15-20 by 1 more year because of the ongoing corona crisis. Then chapter number 25, we have included the trade reforms. Then chapter number 26, we have included FDI in agriculture sector. That as you know, that FDI in agriculture has been growing in the last few years. So what all benefits we may get out of it, that information has been given in brief over there. Then difference between FDI and FPI. Then in chapter number 27, we have included New Development Bank and AIIB because we have been getting good amount of money from these two for the infrastructure development in our country. So you should have a brief knowledge about this. Then in the chapter number 31, we have included India's experience with regional trade agreements, a kind of a brief explanation. Then chapter number 32, we have included India and Human Development Index, a recent report. Then in the global economy, we have included the global village. Then in the chapter number 35, we have included collective intervention and then future of globalization. Chapter number 36, we have included so many new things which happened in the recent time like the European Union crisis. the Eurozone crisis, and then Cyprus crisis, Green Debt crisis, and we have also included the Brexit. Then chapter number 37, we have included structural issue, and for chapter number 39, in the WTO, we have included the ministerial conferences and the WTO ministerial meetings of developing country. And then in the end, we have included, in the chapter number 41, we have included the India 2020 top 7 challenges. And then in the last, we have included the highlights of the current year budget and more about the economic survey of 1920. The same book you will also get in the Hindi medium. Now, the point is, I'm not here to simply market this book. I'm just telling you, because this question is being asked by a student, that whether we need to refer this particular book or not, or how we can get the maximum benefit out of this book of Indian Economy by the late Sanjeev Verma sir. See, to understand this book, I would say that there is a need to have a basic understanding of economics. If you have some basic understanding of economics and then you read this book, then you will be able to gain more. Okay. But if you don't have the basic knowledge of economics and if you read it, then obviously in certain chapters you will be able to understand, because there is no need to know the technical things like demand, supply, then the foreign exchange rate, how it has been determined, the trade, import, export, the various policies and the other. Like certain chapters, certainly you will be able to understand, but few chapters you may face difficulties. And in that case, if you face difficulties, then you will start losing interest and then you will simply leave the book. So point is what? To gain maximum out of this book, first of all, clear your basics and then refer this book. Are you getting? So every year, like I would say for the last 3 years, I'm trying to revise this book with all the relevant information which may be required from examination point of view. Okay. So every time I'm simply mentioning in the preface of the new edition that what all things we're including and how it can help the student in the examination. So a brief advice to all of you, if you people are going to refer this book, then certainly first of all try to clear your basics and then refer it. It will really help you in terms of mains examination. And moreover, one thing I want to clarify here, that though I'm updating, and I'm doing it only for the sake, the kind of respect I'm having for the late Sanjeev Verma sir, because he was also my mentor. He also taught me economics, and I was also able to get good amount of understanding and moreover the knowledge from him only. So I'm not charging any kind of royalty or anything from the publisher. It's just that out of my respect for the sir, I am updating it. So it's just that I need to tell you this particular thing, that how you can get the maximum out of this book. So if you think that is required, do purchase it, do get it, but try to first of all clear your basics and then refer it. This is all I need to tell you about this particular book. Thank you very much and good day. Bye-bye.